Welcome back to Ranged EV. I have some updates today on the Tesla Model 3, particularly the long range. It goes even further now. So let's get the bad news out of the way first of all. Full self-driving did go up, and it's not a surprise. We all knew it was coming, although Elon did warn us before that, hey, full self-driving is going up, and then it didn't go up, and then they said we're gonna wait for Smart Summit and then raise the prices. So I wasn't sure if he was gonna commit to it this time, but he did. It's officially $7,000. From what I can see currently, it's $7,000 at checkout and after delivery. So regardless, it should be the same price, which I'm more okay with than before, where if you bought it during checkout, it was cheaper versus after when it was more expensive. I like it better when it's just consistent across. But in regards to the Model 3 long range, the other bad news is it did get slightly more expensive. But when you're spending 50 grand on a car, I think in the grand scheme of things, not very much. It went up by 500 bucks. So half a grand more expensive than before, but the overall range has now been improved by 12 miles, which is pretty good considering how great the range is on Tesla vehicles compared to their competitors. They're now beating them to a pulp even harder than before with the Model 3 long range new updated range of 322 miles. So personally, I think this upgrade is still a win even if the car gets slightly more expensive. This means that when charging up to 80-85%, you can get around 300 miles without even having to go completely to 100%, which is pretty decently impressive. And at this point, I'm still unsure if this is an actual hardware upgrade or mostly a software one that just helps the motors act more efficiently for that extended range. But Elon has talked about software updates going up to the cars later that's going to allow for improved performance. So I think it's most likely going to be a software upgrade, which means that very possibly a lot of people who have already bought the long range Model 3, you'll be getting an improved range in just a couple weeks. That's pretty dang impressive that your car can go a certain distance one day and a different distance the next day. That's a pretty good incentive, but there also is a lot of weird things about this as well. For those of you who may not know, before, the Performance Model 3 and the Long Range Model 3 had identical range. Both of them went 310 miles. Now, the Long Range actually has the advantage over Performance, which makes more sense. That's how it is on the Model S and the Model X as well. Usually, if you opt for that Performance package, your range will take a little bit of a hit. Now, the Model 3 is more consistent with that, so the range of the Performance Model 3 is still locked in at 310 miles, but who knows, given they updated the standard range plus range a few weeks ago, now they've updated the long range, maybe Performance will get that range upgrade as well in a few weeks, and they're rolling this out slowly. The weirder thing though about upping the price of the long range Model 3 is currently at this time, through Tesla's website, the long range Model 3 costs $490 more than the long range Model Y, the car that looks quite similar but has more cargo space, more storage, granted a little bit of a different range. The long range Model Y goes 300 miles and the long range Model 3 now goes 322, so a difference of 20 miles in between there, but the Model Y long range is actually cheaper than the 3 for now. It'll be interesting to see if they keep those prices for all the people that made reservations. Like, maybe the Model Y will get more expensive with better range later on if it gets the same software update the 3 are getting, but I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of mean for the people who reserved a Model Y and agreed to pay a certain price point. Will they have to pay more now if they decide to update things on the Model Y department? So yeah, that part of it's kind of bizarre, and I'm sure when the Model Y officially becomes available, the prices will probably make a little bit more sense. Perhaps the long range Model Y will get improved range and likely cost a little bit more than the long range Model 3. We're not sure. That's all speculation at this point, but overall, very happy with the changes. Incredibly good deal if you're looking for an EV around that $50,000 mark. This thing with its range that was already really good, getting even better is just putting Tesla that much further ahead of the competition, which they already were, particularly in the affordable EV market. And I use that term affordable kind of lightly because 50 grand for a car, I mean, a lot of people do it, but that's still on the higher end. Hoping that in the future they're able to get those prices down for the Model 3 for all the people who can't afford them, but their range now, particularly on the long range vehicles, is now rivaling that of very common gas cars. We have a Chevy currently that has a range of 350. So this is only 30 miles less than that, and it's only 50 miles less than the best ranged EV you can currently buy today, the Tesla Model S, with a range of 373 miles. That's only a difference of about 51 miles of the best EV you can buy, except this one starts at just under 50K. So pretty impressive. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take care.